Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving Tuesday.
I have to appreciate that this goes out to a national, if not international audience, and you just don't care.
No.
You're just going to sing.
Well, and when I listened back to the last episode where I sang, I was like, man, I'm really terrible. That guy was right when he called me a vocal terrorist.
Oh, goodness. Y'all, it's Tuesday. We're so glad you're here. If it's not Tuesday, we're still glad you're here. It doesn't matter what day you're listening. We're just happy that you're here with us. Today, we're going to help you be a little less cringe with your kids.
Oh, I love it.
We're talking kid slang.
All right. Well, with me today is Caitlin, and we're just going to color the keyboard because she's just my type.
Nice. Yeah, I am. For sure. Don't tell John.
Oh, it's fine. He knows.
It's a secret. It's fine. Oh, okay. Okay, great. All right, perfect. Well, with me is my co-host, Jenny, who is a cunning, pliable, golden-haired sunfish. You know, you can like put someone's name into a compliment generator and it will give you like Leslie Knope style quotes. And why pliable came up?
So good. Well, I mean, like flexible is a compliment, right? So like pliable, right. I know. That's funny.
Malleable.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. So okay. Well, let's catch up because it's been a little while. What's going on?
Okay. So, we talked about Taylor Watch 2.0. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time in a while, Abigail has a bucket list. And one of the things on it is seeing Taylor Swift in concert. And this is way back before she announced this last tour. This is more than a year ago she told me this.
Sure.
Anyhow, we have been watching, hoping that tickets will drop as we get closer to the dates in the drivable distance. And they are not. But I was in a meeting today and my phone rang and it was John.
Uh-oh.
Okay. And so John knows that like I can't take phone calls in the middle of the workday. I can accept text messages, no problem, and text back. But as a teacher, if your significant other is calling you in the middle of the day, they know that they're trying to get your attention immediately.
Right. Exactly.
I step out of the meeting and answer the phone and he says, "We have good news." I do not know in relation to what, but it's good enough news that he needed to call me in the moment. He said, I thought maybe it was a spam text, but I clicked the link anyhow. Taylor just released a bunch of standing room only tickets at the Dallas show. And I snagged 2 of them. He said, I now have. Yeah. So for $65, we were able to purchase an insurance policy that when they drive to Dallas, they definitely have tickets.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's so exciting.
Yes. And in the intervening hours, people have started selling the standing room only tickets for over $500.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So now we get to keep watching for better seats, but we know they're getting in.
Yes, that's so exciting. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy for you guys. Yeah. What a great update. Right. Love it. Well, mine's not as cool as yours.
That's okay.
I just have all of a sudden an obsession. It's not all of a sudden. I've always liked them, but I cannot have enough sour Skittles. They do not make enough of them. I love sour Skittles.
Have you ever had freeze-dried Skittles?
No.
Okay, so we had
I feel like I'd break my teeth.
No, they're like crunchy like a chip.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah. So I have some. I'm going to give them to you for you to try.
Yeah, I want to taste them. That sounds amazing.
They're not sour though.
But
They're just
I
regular.
No, that's okay. I plow. You know those bags you can get at the airport that are like, they're not like the normal.
They're
snack
not like
size
pocket
size.
size.
They're like no, they're bigger. They're not like the family size ones, but they're the bigger ones. Yeah, I plowed through a bag of those. And I tried to split them up. Like, okay, you can have some this day and some. No, I destroyed that bag.
You put them in a little pill container. Like, here's your ration of sour Skittles.
Here you go. You
got an AM dose.
You get
and a
17
PM
in a
dose?
serving. Right, exactly. No, it did not work out that way. Like the first day I did okay. I like poured some and then I was like, okay, I'm going to stick with that. And then the next day I was like, okay, I'm going to have some. And then I went back for some more. And then I went back for some more. And they were gone. So now I'm like having to wait to buy myself some more. But for whatever reason, sour Skittles are just hitting it right now. They're so good. I don't know what's going on.
We should look up what your body needs when you're craving sour foods.
Right. I have this weird, vague memory of people with ADHD loving sour candy. It's like a dopamine hit or something.
Oh.
So maybe that's what it was. But I don't know. Either way, it was really good. And then the only thing that fixed this like need to have sour Skittles this week, it's coming back, but it's this week. I had one of those moments like Billy Madison when he's like, I am the smartest man alive. You know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
I put together in sheets, for those of you who constantly spend your life in Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, you'll know what I'm talking about. I put together some syntax for a formula that successfully took items from one sheet to another sheet based on two different criteria, ordered them, and grouped them. And it updates automatically whenever someone just clicks a drop down. I feel so stinking smart.
You are smart.
Figuring this out.
You're a computer programmer.
This is amazing. Oh my, right? I am practically writing code over here, folks. I felt so smart that I did not need any sour Skittles that day. I was like, I don't even need candy. I feel so great. So that's been like what I've been obsessed with, is like figuring out this code. I finally figured it out. It's not a code, it's a formula, right? But I figured it out, and then I didn't need this other thing that I was obsessed with.
That is so funny. That is so good.
Ridiculous.
No,
what it is,
you're
but
super
it works.
smart.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
All right. So speaking of super smart,
yeah,
my gem of the week comes from my total brainiac kid. Okay. So I will say that I am the parent who's like, my kids are normal. Okay. Like,
okay.
I am not like the, oh my gosh, my daughter's so brilliant and my son is going to compose an entire symphony and it's age 3. Like, I'm not these people. In fact, I'm like, my kids are super normal and I love it. And I love that, like, we get to go on this journey together and that, like,
yes,
we can get each other. Okay.
Yes.
But Kit had a moment of brilliance this week.
Okay.
We play Guess the Animal in our car trips. And I kind of got tired of it.
Yeah.
So we switched to Guess the Location. And it's a 20 questions-esque type game. We don't count the questions, but you ask questions and you whittle it down.
And he can play Guess the Location and he's 4.
Yes, because we are very intentional about choosing locations that he could answer the questions about.
Okay.
We might not choose like, Montgomery, Alabama. Right? Like, but we could,
okay.
We are not choosing that, but, we might be able to choose the state capitol building, right? Things that he knows about.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you and I are going to play right now, and I am going to use the location that he came up with, answered all the questions correctly for, and stumped all of us.
Okay.
Okay. Ask me a question.
Okay. Is it in Texas?
It is not in Texas.
Okay. Is it in the United States?
It is not in the United States.
Oh, okay. I feel very much like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego right now.
Yes.
Is it in Europe?
It is not in Europe.
Is it in an ocean?
It is near an ocean.
It is near an ocean. Is it on a different continent than North America?
It is on a different different landmass than North America.
Landmass. Oh, is it the South Pole?
It is not the South Pole, but you're very close.
Is it the North Pole?
It is the North Pole. It is the North Pole. So when we ask questions like, have you been there? He goes, no. Have I been there? No. Do you know anyone from there? Yes, I do. When
yes,
did you
I
meet
do.
this person? Yes.
That's
it was so
amazing.
Good. It was so good. And so as we're like getting more and more specific in our questions, like, what kind of food do they have? Sweet. Like he got it. It was, and I turned around from the front seat and high-fived him. I was like, that is the best I have ever heard. You nailed it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Sweet. He didn't say cookies. He said sweet. Because cookies would have given it away. Wow. I'm impressed. Meanwhile, my gem of the week is my child, bless him. You know that there is a company in town that does shave ice, and they have trucks and they will come around to specific locations and they will do school fundraisers. I'm going to say the name because it's part of the gem, right? So my son's school does Kona Ice fundraisers. And again, this is just like shave ice, snow cones kind of situation.
Right.
And, you know, you get a portion of the proceeds or whatever. This morning, he mentioned it. There was a fundraiser today. And I had to listen to him say it a few times. And he was like, oh, well, today is Cone of Ice. And I was like, what? And he was like, well, yeah, it's Cone of Ice Day. And I took me a minute and I went,
pour some sugar ramen.
I am never correcting this.
No.
I am never correcting this because it's too cute. And one day someone, like, he'll read the truck and he'll just go, oh, it's Kona Ice on his own. Right. But I'm not going to do that because I love that it's Cone of Ice.
Oh, this is me at 22 years old finding out that it's a rum and Coke, not a Roman Coke.
Right, exactly. Like someday someone will say something and I don't know, like I'm just hoping he reads the truck because it's all over the side. But I was just like, this is so cute. I have to let it go.
Cone of Ice.
Oh, Cone of Ice. Because that's what it is. It's a little cup of ice.
It is. It's perfect. We have a room in our house that is painted completely black.
Yes.
And has blackout curtains. And some people might call it a theater room.
Right.
But in our house, it was listed as the media room.
Okay.
Which, in the mind of a 7-year-old, which is how old Abby was when we moved into this house, because it's dark like the night sky, it is the meteor room.
Oh, sweet, sweet love. I like that one.
Yeah. It still is the meteor room.
It's the meteor room. Yeah. Uh-huh. It sounds similar enough that if you say it fast, you're not sure. But that's why I was like, Cone of Ice.
I love it.
It makes perfect sense.
Oh, I'm calling it Cone of Ice for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah. It's so cute.
All right. Well, like you said, this week we are going to learn some more words from our children. And we have looked up some pretty hip and rad words because we want you to sound nifty when you talk to your kids.
Oh my God, it's so heavy, Jen.
Although I will say yesterday a kid like parkoured, if that's a verb, a tree and like ran up the side of it. And he said, did you see how gnarly that was? And I was so happy. It was like, it was pretty gnarly, dude.
Shred the gnar, man. I still use the word rad, and I
do too. It's
been a while, but like I like that word. That feels very NorCal to me to use it, so I still do. But these are the words that like I used to know how to use in context correctly because I taught in a middle school. And then as soon as I left the middle school space, I'm officially old and don't know how to use these words anymore.
Just some words I used to
my son
know.
also comes home and says these words.
Oh.
Some of them. Not all of them.
He's
some of them.
so cool.
But apparently, and I am not because I don't understand. So let's go ahead and get started with some of these because they're good.
Okay. So the first term is rent-free. And it is an adverb. How does someone live? They live rent-free. It means to like think about something negatively and obsessively. Okay. So that lady at the pharmacy was so rude to me and I just can't get over it. I'm thinking about it all the time. She's living rent-free in my head right now.
Is that based on a real situation?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because using the context of lady at the pharmacy.
Yeah. Well, I almost said that Karen
totally
at the
feels like a
pharmacy to like
middle-aged
throw
person.
another word in there.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't do that. We love you. My mother-in-law's name is Karen. We love you, Karen.
Yeah. I was like, no, this pharmacy lady was
No.
not cool to me. Anyhow, your turn.
Mm-mm. Okay. So one of them is bet. And this is not like I made a bet
Okay.
in Vegas, right? This is like another word for okay. And it's a way to agree with someone, I guess, that like nodding your head is just not acceptable for responding to someone. But this would be like, okay, person number one says, oh, I ordered pizza. It'll be here at 6. And the other person goes, okay, bet. Like
Nice work.
okay, sure.
Got it.
I got it. Right.
Hey, Caitlin.
That was my first one.
Vibe check?
Yeah. Did you pass the vibe check?
So, right. So, vibe check is a verb,
Mm-hmm.
and it means to ensure that someone's having a good time.
Right. This is like if you see someone who just like on the street, on one of those like random street videos where they're like, they go up to somebody and they start dancing and then the other person drops everything and starts dancing with them. That would be a person who passed the vibe check.
Right.
Right. Like they're just not they're going with the flow and they're
Right.
just having fun with whatever's happening.
Yes. And it can be used
Yes.
also as a question, like, are you doing okay?
Okay. I haven't heard it used that way, but I like that. Okay. All right. My next one is snatched.
Love it.
I go to a different word when I hear that. So for those of us who are a little older, we hear the word snatched and we might think of something different, but this doesn't mean that. Okay. This means it fits well. It looks good on you. It's flattering. For example, when she tried on those jeans, she was snatched. Like I put on this jacket, I'm snatched.
Like it.
Like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, like this shapewear has got me snatched.
I don't think you can say it like that. Oh my gosh, I'm so snatched in my
In my
shapewear.
Spanx.
No, it's Skims. You gotta have the Kim Kardashian ones.
Okay.
The Skims. Yeah.
Okay. So, all
right.
The next one I have for you is giving, or it's giving. It's a verb. It means it's like stirring up feelings of a certain situation or event. Okay. It used to be that this was used followed by some type of vibes. Okay. So, it's giving me main character vibes. Like, oh, you really are owning this situation and you totally have it.
Right.
But the vibes part has been lost. Okay. That's like January. Okay. Now in Q2, like we have had the first day of spring. So we are talking about like this is spring and summer. We don't say vibes anymore. So now you can just say it's giving. And that means that it's great. Like it's giving me awesome vibes. Or you can just say it's giving whatever. So you can say that bracelet is giving prom corsage.
Oh. Okay. So it could also like be used to kind of insult someone depending on what you attach it to.
Absolutely. When used alone, it's a compliment. When used alone, it's a compliment.
Oh, okay.
But it can also be a backhanded one.
Yeah. Right. Like it's giving me 1980s prom hair is not necessarily a compliment.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. Speaking of 1980s and all the things that are coming back for our generation, this one is fashion or you are so fashion.
No.
Because we don't say fashionable, right?
You are so fashion.
Oh my God, you are so fashion. Like, wow, look at you. You are so fashion. It's like it's a compliment. You look great, trendy.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Okay. I hate that one.
No,
I'm not going to lie.
So
I really hate that one.
It
but
sounds
I can't.
like someone who's just learning to speak English for the first time. You are so fashion.
It does, right? Right. It does feel off. Like it's grammatically so far off base that I can't handle it. But if you're like, oh my God, you are so fashion. Like I can see how it would have just kind of just come out of, yeah, exactly. Anyway, next up.
Okay. Slay. Right. We've heard this one. It's an adjective.
Yes, we have.
And it means that it's cool or it's great. It used to be a verb, right? Like, oh, slay. Right. But now it.
Right. Like this is like Jonathan Van Ness on every episode of Queer Eye where he's like, oh, slay, honey.
Right.
Love it.
Right.
Like
right. So it was a verb. Now it's an adjective. That is so slay.
Okay. Oh my God.
Okay, so imagine, go back in time. Go back in time. It's 1954. And two women are recording a podcast. Not really, because there weren't podcasts or women allowed to talk at that time. But in 1954, two women are teaching each other about this word cool. It used to mean not cold, but less than warm. And now the kids are using it to describe things that they like.
That's what I feel like. June Cleaver trying to learn all these new words. Just feel so old. Oh gosh. All right. Well, I'm just gonna move ahead to this one because this is how I feel right now. This next word is cringe because that's what everyone listening to this episode is thinking about us right now. Let me tell you this. If you are listening to this episode and you are actively taking notes, there is a good chance, my friend, that you are cringe. Okay.
I hear Jeff Foxworthy. You know, he would be like, you might be a redneck if.
You might be a redneck.
You might be a millennial if.
You're taking notes. Right. Exactly. Then you are cringe. It just basically means that you're just so embarrassing that they can't even handle it. It's like when you get that secondhand embarrassment feeling when you're watching The Office or any episode of Seinfeld and you're just like, oh my God, this like I'm so uncomfortable.
Right.
Like that's the idea when we're talking about cringe. So like, oh my God, Mom, everything you're doing is so cringe. Can you just stop? It's like she's embarrassed by you.
And I have to imagine that there are children out there who have been through the transition of it was cringy to now it's just cringe. Like it was fashionable and now it's
cringe.
just fashion.
Yeah.
But don't know what the verb to cringe means.
It's so funny because it definitely comes from like that physical
it's
response.
The face.
That you're
and they're
like, right. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny, but that's what it is. So if you're cringe like us in this episode, next one.
Okay. So I have a verb for us, gatekeep. And the gatekeeper would be the person who like lets people in and out. Right. So to gatekeep is to let information in or out. And so I love this headband that you're wearing. Where did you get it?
Yes.
I will not tell you. I want to keep it for myself. Oh, you're just being a gatekeeper. It is withholding information that would benefit others because they would be able to experience or purchase or try something and you're not letting them.
I feel like I've heard that used in like other contexts too, of like not just information about like items, but also about like communities, like people not letting, like if you talk sports and you're not like
right
bro or whatever, then they're like, yeah, I've heard it used in that kind of context too, but that makes sense. Okay, well, people like that who gatekeep because they think they're special make me want to pop off. Moms, you know what this is.
Oh yeah,
right. I probably don't even have to explain it. But this is when you go on a rant, you talk for a long time, especially if you're mad, right? Like we've all seen people pop off, but now that's what we're calling it. Like, you know, angry white ladies at the store who start going off on stuff. We used to call it going off. Now it's popping off, right? You pop off. Except those ladies are usually wrong 100% of the time.
Right. So I have one that has a double meaning. To touch grass,
as these so often do.
It's a verb, and it can either.
It's giving me kick rocks.
Yeah,
that's what it's giving me. This is giving me. If you say touch grass, this is giving me a kick rocks sort of vibe. No,
suck an egg. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's touch grass can either be like an insult to someone who's spending way too much time on the internet. Like, why are you so good at this game? Get outside and touch some grass. Okay.
That feels like such a parent thing to say.
Right? Right? Or it is to ground yourself and like stop being so nuts. Like, you're being hysterical. Touch grass. Ground yourself.
Oh. As opposed to like calm down.
Calm down. Right. Touch grass.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, maybe if you need to touch grass, it's because you're aggro right now.
Ooh, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is different than aggro crag. Might be dating myself there. No big deal.
Yeah. So this has a couple of meanings. I saw it in like a sort of gamer context, but I don't understand enough about it to really go that route. So it mostly means that you seem angry or aggravated.
Right.
Right? Like, whoa, why are you so aggro? Are you about to pop off? Like that. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. Talking about
vibes are coming out right now.
Video game words.
Okay.
Sus. If you don't know about Among Us and that little alien creature, astronaut, blah, 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 like you've been living under a rock for the last 5 years. From Among Us, this was a game where it was like a murder mystery and you had to figure out who is doing all the crime.
It was like Clue.
It was like Clue.
Right.
It was like Clue. Somebody there is the imposter and you have to figure out who is trying to sabotage your mission in space. And it's a guessing game and it's played on mobile devices. When you had a concern about someone, they were sus. Because they were suspicious or questionable,
suspicious.
Right? They were the suspect. So now sus has just become its own word. S-U-S. S-U-S. So sus. Like, he is so sus. What is he up to?
Oh my gosh. Like, it's basically, I don't trust whatever's happening right now. Yeah.
Or sussy.
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't like
I don't
that
either.
one.
I don't like sus to begin with. If we're like making opinions about these words, I think that's weird.
That's the one that my son uses. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so sus. Excuse me? You're 6.5. Yes.
Well, that also helps to date it.
So,
because if elementary is using it, then middle school and high school are not anymore.
Then it's old.
Right.
They're not using it anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. That's your indicator here. It's like, basically it's middle school kids use these words all the time and can't interject other words into their vocabulary, whereas high school kids have learned moderation and they'll use the word sometimes. And then if an elementary school kid is using that word,
it's been out for a while.
Then it's been out for a while.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
This one, I'm going to sound so white saying this. I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid here. Bussin'. Mom, that dinner you made was bussin'. It means it's good, but it's stupid. Like, I don't understand this one. I'm sorry, children who are listening. You probably aren't. But I just, the dinner you made was bussin'. I don't even know how else to use it because it's just so dumb. So anyway, that's what it means.
I don't like that
great
word at all.
Good.
No cap.
Yes. What is this one?
No cap means like that's a fact for real. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. No joke. I'm not blanking you. No cap.
Right. Can't we just use for real? How old are we?
Can we just use for
old enough
shizzle?
that for real? No, we cannot because we are not Snoop. Only Snoop can use that.
Why does Snoop carry an umbrella? For drizzle.
For shizzle, my drizzle.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, goodness. Y'all, we are a mess.
Should I, like, while we're drizzling, go to Riz? It's short for charisma.
Yes. How would you use that in a sentence?
And it's not, it's Riz, like charisma. He's just sitting at the bar flirting with her, and she is totally eating it up because he has so much Riz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Again, what's like? All right. Okay. These are words I will never use. Right? Like I just won't do it. Okay. So I have a couple more.
Okay. I have three.
Do you have
more.
any more?
I have three more.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so this one is, again, I'm going to sound real white, but that's okay. Drip. This is a term that comes out of like,
oh, you know, this word came
culture.
up and I was like, I don't think that I even know what part of speech this word is, so I cannot use it.
You hear me not using parts of speech in these explanations, right? Like you know I'm not doing that for a reason.
Well, like, is it a noun or is it an adjective? Like, I don't know. Look at my drip. Are you like, I don't know what it is.
I get the sense that it could be an adjective and a noun.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, what level of nerd are you if you are trying to define the parts of speech while you're telling people how to talk to young kids with slang?
Once again, you are cringier than me in this situation because I have not been doing that this entire time.
Oh.
You have,
okay.
though.
So I'm the nerd. Sorry.
Nerd. It's a way to drip is a way to describe something that you like when it comes to fashion. So you can be talking about like their accessories or their entire outfit, maybe somebody's style altogether. Like, oh, she has a lot of drip means like you like her style.
Okay.
So like, yeah, I get the sense that it's supposed to mean like dripping, like you're dripping with style, dripping with something.
Okay.
So that's where that seems, yeah. So she has a lot of drip, like means her style is
dripping with cool.
on fleek.
On fleek. Jeez.
Also something that no one says anymore. P.S. Yeah. Don't use that one. Okay. What else you got?
Cope is a verb. We already know what this word means. Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to cope with something. So now it's deal with it.
Yeah.
It's a phrase. Like, you lost. Cope.
Oh, I actually am okay with that because they're using it correctly.
Right.
And...
Now, what makes it not correct is when you want to put an exclamation point at the end of that. You say, you lost. Cope. Period.
Oh.
Period with a T.
Okay.
Period with a T means it's done. The end. The red velvet is the best cake. Period.
Oh. All right.
So that was a twofer.
Well. Okay, I have one. Gucci.
Nice.
Not to be confused with the fashion brand that all of us know from watching Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie back in the day. Okay. This means everything is good. Right? This is everything's fine.
Vibe check.
Good.
Gucci.
Think of it kind of right. Well, you probably wouldn't say it like that. This is, this is more like a no worries is sort of the sense.
Right.
That's
right.
What
I'm saying.
Like if someone were to, like if someone's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're like, oh, we're Gucci. It's fine. Like, don't you know what I mean? You just kind of throw it out there. You're not going to be like, how was the dinner? Gucci. It's not going to come out like that. It's going to be more of a like, oh, don't stress. We're good. Everything's fine.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
When everything is not fine, but it's not terrible, you can say it's mid. It's like a little bit of an insult. Okay. So it's not like come see, come saw. It's more of like, that was just mid, right? Like it wasn't good.
Like mediocre, like middle?
But like middle.
Oh, ew.
I kind of love it.
I think midlife crisis.
Well.
So it's also not a good, okay.
That's a little cringe.
I gotcha. This one is giving me middle school vibes, as in the person that you hung out with in middle school that you didn't tell anybody about that you hung out with, right? This is called a sneaky link.
Oh.
All right. This is a relationship that it can be like sexual or not. That is between two people and no one else knows about it. Right? Think like slide into DMs, but like it's not quite like that. It's more of like the connection that no one knows about. So like you might be a sneaky link with someone on social, but then you would see them at school and you wouldn't say anything or make eye contact with that person.
I see.
Right? It's like you're best friends with the neighbor kid at home,
right?
But
not
when you go to school, you get off the bus and you don't talk to each other all day, and then you get back home, you're back on the bus and or whatever, and you're friends again. It's like that.
I see.
A sneaky link, but it goes through social that way.
Sneaky link.
Okay. A sneaky link. Okay, I love this one. And I'm choosing to end our show on this.
Okay,
one.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. This one is a baddie.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And we know this is a non-swearing podcast, but I don't care. I'm going to say it. A baddie is a badass, right?
Love it.
Okay. This is someone who takes care of themselves, doesn't put up with anyone's garbage. And it's often used to describe a woman, right? Or someone who identifies as female. This is like a hot, independent, strong woman.
Love it.
Right? Baddies slay. Yes. Yes, they do.
I love it.
Yes. So
there you go.
Putting that out there. All my baddies out here listening to us.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
Oh, my baddies taking notes.
All my baddies taking notes on these words.
Okay, so that might be a t-shirt. Like all these baddies out here taking notes.
I hope
Killing
so.
it in the spreadsheet.
That needs to be our first t-shirt.
Yeah,
right?
I love it. So funny. All right. Well, this is the time of the show where I say, please rate us, review us, tell your friends, hit that 5 stars. You might notice that I'm asking for attention on the internet, and the word for that is thirsty. So I am very thirsty. I definitely want you to post about us and tell your friends. And when you are trying to learn how to talk to children, think about diction, which is this baddie word for word choice, and make good choices.
And slay, honey. Slay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.